The grease is just so that to hold the balls on the end of the axle. That's the. Hopefully this grease is heavy enough that it'll work. Thing's heavy and awkward. A finger pincher. Everything's got to line up all. There it is at the final drive in. The balls are right about there. So now I need to torque this down to 200 foot-pounds. I have to find an 1.25 inch socket to put on there. Got it checked 201. That's what it's torqued at now. Now I'll recheck it. Here's what we got. I don't know if you can see how it flattened them out. Now I'm supposed to be able to take a micrometer and measure those. That tells me my shim. You can tell right now that that's a lot thicker than the shim that was originally in there. So since my book is for 4430, I do want to double check that what I did was correct. They're the same rear ends, but they might be slightly different. So I do want to make sure that I'm not doing something wrong here. I've got one of the TSC manuals for a 4020 I might double check with, and I've got a couple buddies that out in Iowa that work on these older tractors. I might get a hold of them and double check, but I believe what I did is correct. So then if I did do it correct, I need to order shit. Hey guys, we're back to putting this 4020. We're gonna put it back together today. So we're very lucky. Our dealer, Koenig's down in Urbana, there's an older parts guy there, Richard, and then there's an older shop guy, Gary. I called down there because now that I know what I thought I needed for shims, called down there to get them shims ordered. And they couldn't find them on a 4020, but they could on the 4430, because I told them I was using a 4430 buck. And turns out that even though they're the same thing, there are no shims on a 4020, according to Gary, the shop guy. And he's been there long enough that I'm not going to question him. So we're just going to put that back in with our bronze washer and torque it down to what the 200 foot-pounds, and then we should be ready to hang that axle housing and tire back on the tractor. And then we'll probably, to do the other side, use a skid loader and move it over to that side of the shop. That way it's not in front of the corn planter anymore. But oh, we might get pretty far on that today. It's supposed to start storming, so if we don't lose power, and I know I'll have to close the doors because of the wind, but they're talking like it could get pretty nasty. We lost power for a while yesterday, so as long as nothing like that happens, we should be good to go. So we'll get ready and pop this thing back together. So now we've got everything in there, and if you look, the gears are meshing up and lining up about right with just that bronze washer. So we would have had that, whatever them bowls compressed to, that sprockets wouldn't quite be meshed so nice. So there must be some difference between them. Not sure what it is, but like I said, Deere told me that what I'm doing is the right thing, so we'll put it back together and I'm sure it'll be fine. So gotta wait on DJ to run the skid loader and set it up. So we've got this here, sits in there with the new brake pads on it. It'll go in like so on there and compress against this steel plate, which is new. Take it out of there. I should take it out of there so you can see. Might have to get a pick to get it out of here now. There we go. So this is just what the brakes rub against, and I got my new pads in there on the inside. So as soon as DJ gets here to run the skid loader, we'll be able to hang the tire back on there. Well, the day has come. I just had to run up to church for a while this morning, but I just put the new battery cables in this thing. We drained the fuel out of it. What little bit was in it, put new fuel in it, and we got to prime the system yet, and then we are going to try to start this thing here pretty quick. It'll be the first time this 4020's been started in 6-8 years, I think is what he said. It's been sitting since it went down on him. So we're gonna hopefully get it started, and we'll make sure it'll start and don't have any leaks. And we're gonna wait to put the floor pan on until I know I've got steering and everything else working. And then once all that works and I get the brakes bled, then I'll start putting the steering or the floor plate on. And then I don't have any help today to do the roll bar fenders, but the goal is it's Saturday before Easter. Next week we've got to get the corn planter out. We got work to do on it, and hopefully our back ordered parts to finish the last hour of work to the combine up will be in next week too, because we need to get that put away, this done, the corn planter out, and start going through it, because everything we want to do, we're waiting on something that's back ordered. We can't build fence because waiting on fence posts, work on the combine. We got back ordered parts. The tires for the 275, last I knew they were stuck at some port, so hopefully they'll show up this week. So because of that, everything's going to be happening at once now, so we need to get what we can done. So I'll set you up here in a little bit once I get the I suppose you can watch me get the fuel primed on it, and then we'll be ready to try to start it. I am going to change the engine oil in this, but I'd like to run it and get it warm so before I